Hello beautiful, I hope you're having an amazing day today. My name is Zoe and I am a life coach, and today I'm going to be taking you through a video where I coach myself through my own personal belief systems. So if you haven't tuned into this series so far, there are two previous videos which I'm going to be linking down below for you that I recommend watching in order, just so that this video and the language that I'm using makes more sense to you. So without further ado, let's get started. Over the past few weeks of quarantine mode, I have been working relentlessly in the area of my life that is love and relationships, because it is not something that has gotten my attention for many years. And since we're all in self-reflection mode, since we're all going through the Great Awakening here, what better time to look at our shadows or our dark spots than now? So I have been working more specifically with an energy healer. She does theta brainwave healing. Her name is Lori. I'll be linking her email down below if this is something that calls to you or you are interested in. And what this theta brainwave healing is that I'm put into a type of trance state where Lori has access to my subconscious mind, and I muscle test my belief systems in the area of love and relationships. So there's actually 1001 belief statements that I am to repeat and either test yes or no on, and through there I'm able to heal, and Lori is able to heal for me the negative or self-sabotaging belief systems that I have hidden inside about myself. So in the previous video, I spoke to you about a belief that Lori and I uncovered about me personally not believing that it was possible to have love and success in my life at the same time. So since uncovering that, I have received all sorts of transformation and synchronicities in my life, as does happen when we decide to do our personal work and we change the beliefs we have about ourselves. What we believe to be true about ourselves will be reflected back to us. And this also comes back to the world of manifestation, as you can understand. If you believe it's possible for you to have something, if you believe it's possible for you to attract something or create something into your life, it will happen. But you have to change on the inside first to get that reflection on the outside, and the universe is your mirror. So I ask you that if you are watching this video and maybe love and relationships is not something that you're interested in, I'm still going to present to you the awareness of belief systems and how these actually create your life moving forward. We can consciously create through our conscious mind, but in our subconscious is where a lot of the things hide in our lives. So for example, if you're somebody who seems to always date the same guy or the same girl with a different face, but the same patterns, the same problems, it's because there's something in your subconscious mind that is trying to get your attention. There's a pattern there, there's a belief system there that needs to be brought to the surface so that you can break the chain or break the pattern. And you can probably recognize this for other areas of your life. Maybe that's the relationship you have with health and food, or money and success. When you bring to the surface awarenesses or patterns that you're noticing, once you become aware of the pattern, it's kind of like night and day. You're like, whoa, history has repeated itself numerous amounts of time, and awareness is 90% of the transformation. So I hope that this video brings you more awarenesses, not just in the place of love and relationships in your life, but hopefully a lot more. Because when you decide to do the inner work, that's when you get the wonderful reflection from the outer world, and you can just live your most abundant life, be your most abundant self. So today, we are going to speak about another story that I've had hidden, lodged in my subconscious mind when it comes to the aspect of love and relationships. So I've been single for over 5 years, and yeah, so you know the story, but we're gonna get into it now. So why am I still single? I am still single because I have inhibitions that are blocking me. Oh, my pen is running out here. I hope that you guys can see this. Blocking me from the love that I'm desiring in my life, a true loving partnership. So what are these inhibitions? These inhibitions are the stories that I have about myself, the deep beliefs that I have about myself, because those are the ones that are being reflected back to me into my life and have been in my life thus far. So a belief that Lori and I recently brought to the surface was that I did not believe that it would be possible to connect with a man spiritually. Sorry, I don't believe I'm gonna have enough space, but spiritually. I have been holding on to this belief for a very long time. So I did not believe that it's possible to connect with a man spiritually. once we brought this to the surface, this is huge for me. Spirituality is my life. It's what I love to learn about. It's what I love to dive deep into. And just as I mentioned with you guys, the past few weeks I've been relentless on diving deep into this aspect of my life. It's something that I really appreciate, love, and value as my connection to spirituality and that relationship that I have with spirituality in my life. So why did I have this subconscious belief that it's not possible to connect with a man spiritually? Once Lori brought this to my attention because I muscle tested that I didn't believe that it was possible to achieve this in my life, what happened for me was a lot of memories, a lot of scenarios, a lot of all of this presenting itself in my life. And what does that look like as the experience of Zoe? What does it look like to hold and continue on with that pattern of not being able to connect with a man spiritually? So I can think back to my previous relationships. I've only ever had 2 boyfriends and long-term relationships, and I never felt like I was able to connect with them spiritually. And everyone's on their own unique journey and own unique path. Sometimes people aren't awake yet, and that's okay, and sometimes people may never awaken in their life, and that's okay too. It's just a matter of trusting that we're all on our own paths and all our own journeys. But why would I create that belief about me personally, that I'm not able to attract a spiritual person, even though we attract what we are, and I am a spiritual human? Why am I blocking that? Or why am I resisting that from entering my realm of possibilities? And I think back to both of these previous relationships, and any time that I wanted to explore spirituality in my life or expand in that way, talk about it, talk about the interesting things in life that I like aliens or space or past lives or expansion or the law of attraction, because during these 2 previous relationships that I have, I was starting to have inkling nudges. I was diving into the world of self-improvement. I was always belittled for that. I was always told I was weird, or don't talk about that, or I don't want to, or, you know, what are you on? Like my most previous relationship, my abusive ex-boyfriend over 5 years ago, he's very rude. Like, his language was very unkind. So anytime that I wanted to speak about things like the law of attraction or believing things to be true about yourself or a manifestation, he would shut me down in such a negative way that I most definitely placed a lot of blockage on my throat chakra, which means that I held back from speaking my truth for a very long time. That all of a sudden became my new normal, was that I didn't know how to communicate what was true for me inside in all aspects, not just in spirituality or what my belief systems were. I also remember trying to introduce my ex to books that I thought could help him, because there were certain areas of his life that he was struggling with, and reading is something that I'm very interested in and was always doing, but he would never, he'd say reading is stupid, or I don't like to read, or why do you read so much, and was not just neglecting or rejecting the help that I wanted to give, but he was also accusing me or projecting at me how wrong it was for me to expand my knowledge and expand my awareness. He was very unsupportive of my own personal self-growth. And often when this happens, as everyone is your mirror, the reason why he was so triggered by me continually learning, continually growing, reading, and exploring myself in this area was because it was something, whether he knew it or not, that he was unable to do himself. Right? So whenever someone is triggering us in our life, we have to ask ourselves, why do I have this issue with them? Because the issues you have with other people are just issues that you have with yourself. If you have an issue where you feel like someone is judging you, what are you judging about them? What are you judging about yourself? What do you believe they are judging you about? Is that something that you're judging yourself about? So when you begin to look at this, when you begin to really adopt the philosophy and the understanding that everyone is your mirror, anytime that you feel triggered by any emotions, you can ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Why am I being triggered? And once you can take responsibility rather than being the victim, right? Rather than being the victim of they're judging me or they're doing this and it's affecting me in that way, you can take control of your life. Just as I'm choosing to take control of my life now in the realm of love and relationships, I don't have the results that I want, it's my fault. It's my fault in the sense that I've been harboring the stories that have been creating the reality that I don't want. So, spirituality. Didn't believe it's possible to connect with a man spiritually because The guys that I chose to date in the past had zero interest in spirituality and, you know, would shut me down when it came to that. So no wonder that I chose to create a new belief around spirituality and not being able to find a mate that was spiritual to keep me safe, because it hurt. It hurt every single time when I wanted to express a new idea or something that I've learned, or talk about a documentary or do something like that. Every time I wanted to talk about something I was passionate about, I was hushed. Every time. So no wonder that hurt me. And when it hurt me, my ego mind had no other choice but to create a belief system, to create meaning around the events that happened to me and choose to protect myself. It's not possible to find a spiritual man. But I can tell you, as I have been working, not so relentlessly as I have been in the past few weeks, but in the past year, I became more open to speaking my truth, and more so speaking my truth in front of men. And I was hanging out with this guy last year who was the first man in my life that I was kind of crushed on or had feelings for, who was actually interested in my mind, who was actually interested in what I had to say, who would actually ask me questions about my spirituality or the things I believed in or what I was learning. And you know, I'll never know what that meant for him, or if he took it or understood it or anything like that, but at least he gave me the space to be who I truly was, right? At least he was the first man that I had romantic feelings for to give me permission to just be myself. So I already started to break this pattern before Lori and I brought it to the surface in a big way. But this is a huge one for me, because like I said, that's so important for me to connect with someone spiritually. I want to be able to speak my truth and have it be heard, and not feel judged for it. Because we're each on our own unique journeys. We each have all different lenses. We're each all part of this huge universal puzzle. We all have a purpose here. We all are doing unique and very special things that are special to us, and we just want someone to appreciate us and just be able to love us exactly where we are, accept us for exactly who we are. And you know, this individual that I saw gave me the permission to do that for the first time, and it felt really good. A lot of patterns were broken, and I'm so grateful. Even though that relationship didn't go the way that maybe I'd hoped it would, I still learned so much, and so I can just be in gratitude about it rather than be hurt or resentful about it in any way. I'm just super grateful because I learned so much and I broke patterns that were very, very, very lodged in there. So now I can be open to attracting a person or creating that individual in my life, a man who I can connect with spiritually. It's important to me. I meditate every day. I like to read books and consume knowledge. I love to watch Gaia. I love to just expand. And I want someone who doesn't have to expand with me, doesn't have to expand at the rate with me, because we're all on our own path. But at least he could just love me for who I am. Love me and accept me for being a woman who is just so interested in learning all the time. And you know, it's not something I ever felt. I got a glimpse of it last year, and now I'm choosing to be open to that full time. And once you uncover a story like this and you're like, okay, so why, you know, I'm understanding why I haven't believed that to be true, why I created this belief to protect myself, I can begin to spend time in my imagination of what it would look like to be able to connect with a man spiritually. I can begin to think about that. What would that look like for me? And just as I voiced to you now, being able to connect with a man spiritually, it just means being able to talk to him about things that I'm learning or concepts that I've come across or what happened to me in meditation, and not feel judged, just feel like I have the space to be who I am, unapologetically, spiritually Zoe, and allowed to talk about all these crazy weird things. Like weird, but crazy, fun, different things, and be respected for it. So when I spend time in the realm of possibilities of what that looks like, just to be able to be seen and heard and accepted for who I am, that's a nice place to sit in. That's a nice place to visualize in, to script in, to write in my journal about. It just feels good. It feels good to talk to you about it now, because I'm beginning to believe that it's possible for me to have this. And when you begin to believe that it's possible for you to have something like this, you get excited. You feel like it's already there. And when you feel like it's already there, you know that it's in your vibration, and you know that it's coming to you soon in your life, and it's an exciting thing. You wouldn't be able to think of the individual that you would like to have or feel those feelings that you would like to have with that person if it wasn't already possible for you to have that, if they weren't already out there walking around and, you know, exhibiting or having all of these characteristics that you're desiring in a human. You wouldn't have this idea if it wasn't possible for you. We're all connected as a human race, a human consciousness. You wouldn't have the idea of a person in your mind if they didn't already exist. So think about that and sit with that. Anyways, I hope this video brought some awarenesses to you in your life. And yeah, be open to the awareness. Don't be afraid to look right now. And if you do need any other assistance or empowerment in this process, I am a life coach, and I would be more than happy to coach you through any intentions you have for growth and change. So my email is always down below, and also if you are interested in theta brainwave healing with Lori, an absolute angel, her email is down below too. So I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.